Hi, my name is Pouyan Darian. I'm the principal attorney here at Darian Immigration Law. And today I wanted to discuss with you how you can apply for a green card without having your application rejected or denied altogether, which is the nightmare situation that everyone thinks about when they apply for a green card. So first, what I would like to do is go through the general procedure, which is the boring part, and then afterwards I want to explain how my office can handle the situation to assist you with this matter. So there are several different forms that we always have to file, right? So I'm going to briefly go through them. They are the family petition, the I-130, the green card application, the 485, the work permit, which is the 765, permission to travel, the I-131, and the affidavit of support form, the I-864. So these pages, also there's some supplemental forms such as attorney representation forms or e-notification forms, some of which are optional. But all things considered, you're looking at around 72 pages of paperwork, which can be quite a feat for many people, especially after you have to read the more than 100 pages of instructions. So let's say you've gone through it, you've done all the paperwork. What next? What do? First of all, you submit everything in one package to the Chicago Service Center, depending on where you live. Here in New York, you would mail it all to Chicago. You would use the address on the Form I-485 website to mail all of the forms. And the total fee for the family petition and the green card and all that, as of the filming of this video, is $1,760. So of course people are concerned with having their application rejected or denied, because that means you just lost basically $1,800, and now you have to hire an attorney to fix it, repay the fee, and that's assuming the problem is even fixable at that point. So that's a little bit of a concern that many people think about when they're beginning this process. Along with all the paperwork, there are several essential documents you must submit along with all those 72 pages of forms. If this is through your spouse, for example, you would definitely need to submit a copy of your marriage certificate. You would need to submit passport-style pictures, photographs, the 2x2-inch photos you can buy from CVS Pharmacy or Walgreens or wherever. Two of the petitioner, the U.S. citizen, and anywhere from 4 to 6 for the green card applicant. Along with these passport-style photographs and the marriage certificate, we're also going to be submitting the birth certificate of the immigrant, proof of the U.S. citizen's immigration status, so that could either be their birth certificate if they were born in the United States, or a certificate of naturalization, or a certificate of citizenship, depending on how they became a citizen or how they acquired or derived citizenship in the past. Along with all this paperwork, we would also submit the petitioner, the U.S. citizen, sponsor and petitioner's tax returns for the last year. If you haven't filed taxes in the last year, that's a discussion to have with your immigration attorney. It's not fatal to the case, but it requires some additional paperwork, so it's not an issue at all. One other thing that is absolutely essential, in my opinion, to submit with your initial package is evidence of your good faith relationship. So what can this include? Every relationship is completely different. So if you've traveled together, I want to see photographs of your travel. I want to see travel itineraries, email printouts of your hotel confirmations, Airbnb receipts, train tickets from Amtrak or flights that you've taken domestically. Along with each one of these should be some photographs of that trip. And all of this will paint a clear picture for the officer that the marriage was entered into in good faith, which is 99% of these interviews for the most part, unless you have particular issues that need to be discussed. Once the officer receives all of these, keep in mind, they're not going to really be looking at any of this evidence until probably just a few minutes before they call you in for the interview, which could be a solid year after we begin this process. So this is going to be the timeline is something along these lines. First, we mail all the forms, the 72 pages plus in immigration forms, the $1,760 filing fee, the passport style photographs, and all of the supporting documentations like the marriage certificates and birth certificates and copies of passports and all that. We mail all of that in one big package to USCIS. Around 2 weeks later, we will receive 4 notices in the mail. One will be addressed to the petitioner, the US citizen, that says, we've received your application, your Form I-130 is pending, here's a receipt number, and you could always look up that case status online. 3 more letters will arrive simultaneously, all addressed to the immigrant spouse. And one will be for the green card, one will be for the work permit, and one will be for permission to travel while the case is pending, which if you've seen my other videos, I don't recommend traveling, but we will apply for it regardless because there's nothing to lose. Around maybe 2 weeks after that, you'll receive another notice for a biometrics appointment. That's where the immigrant spouse will have to bring the notice they receive in the mail and their passport to a local service center, and it will normally take 10-15 minutes. They'll just provide some fingerprints, take a photograph, and that's that. They'll continue processing the green card. Maybe a few weeks after that, we'll receive another letter. It's going to be called Courtesy Letter to the Applicant. Sometimes they put it on bright pink paper to freak you out, I guess. But regardless, you can ignore this letter. It basically says you forgot to submit your medical examination form with the rest of the paperwork. But we did that intentionally because this form may expire before your green card interview, and you'll have to pay a couple $100 extra to get a new one down the road, depending on how long it takes for your interview to be scheduled. So all of that was very complicated, very boring. If you're still with me, I'd like to explain how my office can help you with this process. The way I normally handle these is with an initial consultation. We do those by telephone, video chat, or in person, sometimes over email, depending on how bombarded I am at that moment. But basically, we do an initial consultation where we discuss all of the requirements, and a lot of it is a repeat of what I've said in this video. But I also go through your specific situation and will mention additional documents which may be required depending on the facts of your case. Then I will send each spouse an interactive online questionnaire which you will complete before our next meeting or our next chat. This will take some time for each spouse. It'll ask you for your address history for the last 5 years, your employment history, your parents' dates of birth, all these random questions that you don't want to be figuring out while you're sitting at your lawyer's office. You can do all this stuff on your own time, save everybody time, and you click submit to the interactive questionnaire, which I email to you, and all of the responses will be sent to me. I will then take all of these responses and use it to, by hand, fill out the 72 pages of paperwork. Then we will go through everything, review it for accuracy, either by video chat or telephone or in my office personally. And once everything is good to go, I'll mail it all out, and a few weeks later, we'll receive the notices I just discussed. Now, the way to do this in a super expeditious manner is at the moment of our consultation, right? As soon as we finish our consultation, I will email each spouse questionnaires. Simultaneously, I will email each spouse signature pages for them to sign. So for example, if you're the immigrant spouse, I'm going to send you signature pages for the green card, the work permit, and the permission to travel. You'll print them out, sign them, and your spouse, who's the US citizen, will sign the affidavit of support and the family petition. So you'll have all these signature pages printed out, and you'll mail them to me along with some passport style photographs and the government filing fee, which can also be paid with credit card. So you'll mail those to me physically, and that's the only thing you need to physically mail to me, just the signature pages and some passport style photographs. 3 days later, when I receive everything, I'll finalize all the paperwork, insert your signature pages, review everything with you, and mail it all out. all the supporting documentation, your marriage certificate, photographs of your relationships, all that stuff can be emailed to me. No originals will be submitted whatsoever, with the exception of your original signature pages and some passport style photographs. So in this manner, we've managed to streamline what would take, up to 5+ hours in an attorney's office to a simple system that could just be finalized in literally from consultation to mailing everything out in 3 days. We generally ask for around 10 business days to turn everything around, and that assumes everything goes perfectly. But we've streamlined it. You don't have to worry about any of the paperwork. The questionnaire is super simple. What's your nationality? You just scroll down from the list and you select your nationality. What's your date of birth? You give me all this information and I do all the heavy lifting. I'll prepare all the paperwork. You'll send me your signature pages and I'll send you a copy of everything for you to review before I mail it all out, if you so choose. Regardless, I'm going to be keeping a copy. Down the road, after everything's submitted and your status is pending, we're going to get an interview appointment notice at some point. And that's the key. That's where we're going to really, really prepare. The important thing is not to bring an attorney with you to the interview, but rather to prepare with the attorney immediately prior to the interview. The attorney's role at the interview is super limited. And in my opinion, unless there are major criminal issues or complex legal issues, which are rarely the case, but they happen, you don't really need an attorney there to explain the law to an immigration officer whose sole job is to do this one task all day over and over again. What you really need to do is prepare with your lawyer, make sure everything that we say at the interview is consistent with all the paperwork we've submitted, which is going to all be accurate, and to bring additional documentation with you to the interview. We will also do a practice interview. And so by the end of all this, you should be very well prepared for your interview. And we've streamlined it so you have nothing to worry about. Basically, all the stress in the process is taken away as soon as we begin the process. So I understand that this process, whatever you call it, is a nightmare. It's really stressful. People freak out. People lose their filing fees because they made mistakes on their applications, or they filed specific forms when they weren't eligible. They received bad advice, whatever the situation may be. I mentioned in a previous video, even if you're going to do this yourself, at least speak with an immigration lawyer about it, so you can at least have some guidance on how to proceed. So I'm ready to handle your case from start to finish, take all the stress away from you, and we've done hundreds of these. So far, our success rate, I don't think I can ethically say it, but it's very good. We haven't had any issues yet, especially in the New York City field office. I represent clients in most cities, major cities, especially along the coasts, in the United States and in several countries around the world. So proximity is never an issue. In fact, I prefer virtual clients where we do all of our meetings by video chat and email and text messaging. Basically back and forth. I'm your on-call attorney and my staff is always here for you. So if at any point you have any questions, just shoot us an email, contact@darianlaw.com. Go to our website, check out some of our reviews, see what other people have written about us. We worked very hard to have good customer service and good customer reviews. So please, at your earliest convenience, check us out. And if you have any questions, always feel free to give us a call at 914-885-3961. Again, my name is Pouyan Darian, immigration attorney, and I really hope you found this video informative and helpful. Have a great day.